I really don't think that Avatar: The Way of Water is going to make any money. And it could be a huge success. It could make $1 billion something and still fail. I talked about this a little bit yesterday in a video, but this article actually has numbers that they claim it's tracking under. So I want to talk about this because this is fascinating. Avatar was a pretty big movie. It was a big hit, had massive legs like they talk about in this article, and it made a lot of money. I don't particularly care for the movie because I thought it was more like Dancing with Wolves sci-fi. But I understand people like it. And I want to be clear, I don't have anything against The Way of Water. I'm not a big Avatar fan. I'm more so looking at this as what it could turn into. And that's one of the biggest financial failures in Hollywood. Because for one, the film is 3 hours and 12 minutes. And two, it needs to make $2 billion to make any money, that's just not good business. Well, I don't know why they did this. Maybe they're thinking that this is going to be a huge phenomenon. The difference between the theaters now and when the first one came out is there was nothing really standing in Avatar's way. This time, Avatar has Black Panther next to it. Even though they're releasing December 16th, that movie could still kind of chip away at it because I don't think that movie's going to necessarily stop making money anytime soon. The one thing, though, is other than that, what's in Avatar's way? So I think it could easily hit $1 billion. Whether or not it's going to hit $2 billion, though, that's a big what if. And if it doesn't, it's a failure. It was too expensive. Where was the budget management in this? So Avatar: The Way of Water opening box office tracking less than Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. With those numbers, how is it supposed to outperform both Star Wars and Spider-Man? Keep in mind, No Way Home made about $2 billion, which is crazy. That movie was in the theater forever. Spider-Man: No Way Home made just short of $2 billion and had a domestic opening weekend of a whopping $206 million to finish with an $804 million domestic gross. The flick made another $1.1 billion internationally, and that is without China. So if The Way of the Water hits $2 billion, it needs huge international support. And I guess this movie is releasing in China, which will help it. I don't know how the hell they got it. They got to get the okay there. Seems like China's rejecting everything lately. More potential bad news for Disney's Avatar: The Way of Water, as the flick's box office opening is tracking less than the opening of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The early estimates are offering Avatar: The Way of Water may open to $150 million domestically when it comes out in December, with the higher $175 million number possible. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever opened to $181 million. And yeah, that's a lot of money, but keep in mind, Black Panther only needed to make about $600 million to break even. So it's already going to make its money back by next weekend. This movie needs to have a bigger box office opening domestically to really make any money. It's got to be a juggernaut, and it's got to have big legs. Well, the first Avatar movie released in 2009 and only brought in about $77 million for its opening weekend, and that was a much different time, and Avatar was something new. That's right. It was a different time, and Avatar offered, it was the true first 3D experience. That was something that really helped that movie, was the 3D. And that craze is kind of over. Like the 3D craze, it's just not there anymore. And I wonder how that will factor into this movie. The 3D is kind of dead, and you don't have that big gimmick draw. Because that was part of the gimmick for Avatar, was the 3D. You have to think back at the time, 2009, that's when everything was 3D. They were putting 3D in everything. Every damn movie you went to go see had those stupid 3D glasses. No movies do that anymore. That gimmick, while it worked for a minute, definitely helped Avatar in a big way. I think bigger than more people realize, because it's like, come see this 3D movie, and that was an experience for some people, because some of the 3D movies that were built for 3D, those movies always looked pretty good. But what ruined it was oversaturation, like everything. I remember Force Awakens even had 3D. Like, why do we need this in a Star Wars movie? That flick had massive legs and a massive international box office. Its domestic run ended with just short of $750 million, while its foreign gross came in at a massive $1.9 billion. The Black Panther Wakanda Forever domestic box office is running in line with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, that finished with a domestic haul of $411 million. And if Avatar performs like this movie, that's going to be like a 60% drop. So, I mean, that's a big disaster. I don't know why they decided to put so much money into this movie. I don't know. This movie could make it back. It certainly could. Every time they re-release this movie, it makes big bucks. So, I mean, it most certainly could become the biggest movie of all time. However, like I said, it most certainly could become the worst performing movie of all time. James Cameron recently said that Avatar: Way of Water needs to make around $2 billion just to break even, saying that it needs to perform above The Force Awakens, which opened domestically to $247 million and finished with $936 million domestically, and also brought in $1.13 billion internationally. Spider-Man: No Way Home made just short of $2 billion and had a domestic opening weekend of a whopping $206 million to finish with an $804 million domestic gross. The flick made $1.1 billion internationally, and that is without China. But I believe this movie is opening in China, so that will help it. Said like this is really going to be one to watch, because if this fails, you're talking about a lot of money lost. I wonder, will they even make the third one? Remember, because they want to do a trilogy. So, like, what's going to happen with that? Like, it'd be interesting, because if it fails and they still make the third one, they're going to reduce that budget drastically. I guarantee you. So, I don't know. Like, it's been the last time this movie came out. It came out in 2009. Like, they should have pumped a sequel out way back when, but I don't know. This could be the greatest disaster the box office has ever seen. What a stupid move to make a $2 billion movie. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.